Welcome, I'm John Meglin. Today we're going to take a look at how you can use Azure Security Center to assist you with monitoring and maintaining an Azure Infrastructure as a Service infrastructure. It's a lot to say there. But anyways, again, part of my video series with Azure to help you see what's new with Azure and what's going on in the Azure community. And security is definitely a big buzz out there, and the Azure Security Center is something new that you may not have been exposed to. So security in the cloud is a shared responsibility between cloud service providers like Microsoft Azure and you representing your end customer. Microsoft takes care of the physical infrastructure and securing the cloud platform itself. Then this is where the shared responsibility on your part kicks in regarding things like security of the virtual machines, applications, data, and the stuff that you place into the cloud on our infrastructure. In infrastructure as a service, you control these resources as well as the virtual networks you create. We provide tools to help out, but in the end, it's up to you to secure this part of this environment. This is a model representing a stack of things that you can do to secure the infrastructure as a service workloads in the cloud. Most of these are the same things you think about with an on-premise environment. Typically, you start at the lower layers and work your way up the stack, and these things build upon each other, protecting the layer above it. Microsoft uses the same model in the Azure cloud, and it is in these areas that Microsoft is adding more and more capabilities to help you secure your cloud assets. These are three common challenges that we notice from our customers that keeps coming back over and over again. First, visibility and control, then the complexity. It's hard to manage the environment, both the cloud on-premise as well as the rapid change in the threat types that are out there. How does Microsoft help? This lower level is managed by Microsoft, as we talked, and Microsoft spends a considerable amount of money and resources to protect this. With the infrastructure as a service, we secure the platform, then we rely on you to secure the virtual machines, apps, and data. What tools do we provide to assist you with things like Azure Active Directory, BitLocker, and storage encryption? We provide built-in anti-malware and many others, and we provide Security Center, which is what I'm going to show you today, which is pretty cool. Security Center unifies your security management and allows you to centrally manage your cloud resources. With that, we're going to get into the demo. And again, I'm going to just bounce around in the demo and show you some of the things you can do with Security Center. At the end, if you have questions about Security Center, I encourage you just to go ahead and use the portal. A lot of the things are in preview, and you can try those out in your own environment or create yourself a test development environment in which you can try those out. Okay, with that, let's get to the first part of our demo, and we'll go up here in our Azure portal that we're used to. And as you can see, we search for Security Center, and boom, we're in. So we go ahead and we can launch the Security Center right from here. Go ahead and hit that, and that's going to take us to our overview, but we'll go ahead and hit that. That's a good place to start. And you can see this is basically going to bring up another dashboard of an overview of many settings that are over here on the left. Recommendations, security solutions. We will go through each and every one of these just to give you an idea of what's here. Security alerts, we don't have any in there right now. JustInTime VM Access. Again, we're going to have talk about each one of these in their entirety. And you can see on the left, you can get to those same options that are over here on the right. Your security policy. Quick Start's a good place to start if you want more information. If you're curious and haven't read into it much, you can hit any of these, and it will actually take you out to Microsoft's website so you can get more information. The security policy is where we need to start. We'll see our different Azure subscription here. You will probably only have one. I have several, but we'll go ahead and click into that first Azure subscription. And we can see we've got data collection going on there. The workspace, you can create a workspace new, or you can use one you already have. In most cases, you guys are going to be creating a new workspace. Again, not a lot to do here. Your security policy itself. We can decide what or what we don't want to show recommendations for. We can go ahead and save that. Like I had that just-in-time network access off there. Email notifications here. We can set up who our contact. We want to get emails based on notifications that we set up, which can alert us to things that are going on in our environment. I'll use my email address here just as an example. And we can also set up a phone number for you to be notified upon. Again, I'm just putting in Tech Data's main telephone number, and you can see you can turn those on, and you can also have the subscription owners other than yourself on also. We're going to go ahead and leave that off for now, again just for demo purposes. And we've looked at the security policy, we've looked how to get into here, and again just bouncing in here so we can change which level we want, with free tier or the standard tier. Free tier's got a lot, standard offers a lot more, as you can see. One of the first things after our dashboard here we're going to want to look at is our compute workload, and you'll spend a lot of time in here in the Security Center. As it opens, you can see we have quite a few things. Security Center, as they mentioned, is now hybrid. We can do Azure as well as non-Azure machines. If you want to look into that, and definitely get with me and I can provide you with more information on that type of thing. We can see quite a few things here are listed for us. Our endpoint protection issues, missing system updates. These are the couple of the machines we're taking a look at here. You can see those machines are stopped. That's if we wanted to add those computers. Again, we can drill down into that default workspace that was created. And you can see for these non-Azure machines, we can download agents, install them, and bring them into the fold. We can look at our actual virtual machines and computers that are in Azure. And you can see it gives us like a status update dashboard here. Any cloud services that we're monitoring, in this case we're not monitoring any right now. Back to the overview, we can take a look at like endpoint protection issues. Again, brings up a nice chart for us, tells us what's going on. If we had other third-party options out of Azure in here too, it would show up also. You can see these virtual machines, the severity. We can go ahead and install that endpoint protection on all of those. We can choose, again, you can see not just Microsoft, in this case Trend Micro is listed. Also, we can also, in this case I'm going to do the Microsoft anti-malware. Go ahead and create that. Any files we want to exclude, exclusions we want, types of scans, amount of time, whether we want it real time or not, what day we want it to scan. And just showing you the different options there. Go ahead and hit OK on that, and that's going to start that endpoint protection installation on those 5 virtual machines. Again, just to kind of show you how the graph works there, you can highlight and get more information. Next thing, maybe like missing system updates, we can take a look at those. And we see it gives us a roll-up of which updates are missing. We can filter based on that type of stuff. If we just want to see critical, medium, or moderate updates, in this case we'll filter on critical. And you can see it narrows our list there. Allows us to drill down and focus on what we need to do, to focus on first, or help us make decisions. Gives us some information on the update itself. Look at the restart pending. Again, I'm just trying to show you some of the options in here, things that show up and things you can do. You can dismiss that if that wasn't something you were worried about. Again, lots of different things, lots of different options. Very intuitive, easy to use. We can drill down in this VM, for example, get information on it, its virtual IP address, things like that, scans, and also recommendations that we're making regarding security updates. We're drilling into that one specifically because we want to find out more information. Again, lots of filtering options we can get based on different date and times. It's an overview of what's going on there as far as the machine type, its name. Change it back to today. And we can drill down into that cumulative update. Take a look at it and see if it's something we interested in applying for this specific virtual machine. Take a look at this Linux machine. As we noted, we can manage not only Microsoft updates and statuses. Microsoft OS is also we can monitor and manage many different Linux-based operating systems also. Next tab we want to look at is the networking tab. Again, remember, it's not just about the compute, it's also our networking resources, things like that in Azure. So we can have our new next generation firewalls, our networks, our internet. This shows our internet facing endpoints, which is nice, so that we know which ones actually have internet facing. This shows us our network topology. Again, not just our virtual workloads we have to worry about for security, but we have to actually worry about our network infrastructure. Also, we can drill down into those next generation firewall piece there. You can see this machine doesn't have that, and we can click into it and actually create a next generation firewall for this machine. And you can see our options here. There's several between Barracuda, Fortinet, Cisco, Checkpoint. Right now we have none, so we would just pick that and go through and configure that for that machine. I'm not going to do that today. And restricting access, also our subnets and security groups. This is just showing us that we don't have security groups for these specific subnets. We can drill down into that. And same thing, we can pick an existing one that we have if we want, or we could actually create a new one. Restricting access. If we'd like to do that, we could actually drill down into that and take a look at what our rules are and what type of access is included or is not included. And if we wanted to restrict it, we could take some actions upon that. Again, pretty concise, but again, something that we don't always think of, that we need to think of is the security in these things. We can go and drill down on that topology or those specific endpoints. Again, lots of options to do the same types of things in here, but it does alert us to what's going on with our environment and what we have secure and what we don't related to a networking aspect. Let's bump on over and look at our storage and data section here. Go ahead and click into that, and again we'll see an overview of what's going on there. If we had SQL Server, we'd have maybe some recommendations there. I don't in this subscription. We've got some storage encryption that we might want to look at enabling, and it tells us how many healthy storage accounts we have. You can see by default a lot of our storage accounts I don't have encryption enabled. It's definitely something that's recommended from a security standpoint. Again, your specific situation may not allow for it, but if it does, you can see we can list the ones that we need to take a look at here. Go ahead and take a look at that one, and you can see it's as simple as enabling or disabling. Right now it's disabled. As far as this specific storage account, we can go ahead and enable that and hit save, and it's going to do it pretty quickly here, and that will take care of that, and it'll update that status, and we'll be closer to being good to go as far as our storage account goes. You can see this is all related to encryption. We have 3 different storage accounts here that are already encrypted, and we can drill down and take a look at some of these. It tells us where it's at, what subscriptions attached to, and again we can hit dismiss that error or go ahead and open that. And again, enable, disable. Again, many ways to do the same thing, but you can see storage. It's primarily about encryption. Actually, it's 100% about encryption, and whether we need those encrypted or not, so we can make some of those good choices. So now we've worked our way through that section. Let's take a look at the recommendations, security solutions, instance alerts, things like that. Specifically, first with the recommendations piece here. That's going to load up, and you can see some of the stuff we've already saw, but it does give us a more across the board look at recommendations that are happening here in the environment. We can filter on those things again, different types, whether they're open, resolved, the severity. So we'll keep the open ones, and we'll take a look at the medium and low specific here. Again, you can modify that any way you want. We can specifically reboots, and we can tell these machines require a reboot. So good information for us to have, and just take a different options here. Again, these are just medium ones, maybe not the highest priority, just to show you kind of what's going on in here. So many options that you have. Again, sometimes when you get that many options, you can be a little overwhelming, but you can filter on these to bring it into focus. That way you can focus on the ones that are critical, that you need to pay attention to. Maybe we just want to look at, for instance, things regarding the registry keys. We can filter down on that, and it allows us to drill down and be a little bit more specific about what we want. In this case, it tells us, specific this registry key and its value, and that we might want to take a look at changing that. Sorry about that. I'm just bumping around here to show you some of this stuff. The security solutions piece, we don't have any here right now, but if we wanted, we can definitely load third-party partner security solutions, which is really neat. Again, some Microsoft ones here. This one's specific to identity and protection. Sorry about that. Then you take a look at the alerts, for example. In instance, we don't have any. And then here's our events piece that we can take a look at. Again, based on the subscription that we want to take a look at. It will graph it over time. We can drill into that timeline just by simply moving the mouse and clicking in. Take a look at all the events here by type. These are specific syslog events. Sometimes this can be a little bit slow to load. You can see we've got some security events now we'll take a look at. And you can see we've had some account failed to log in stuff. We can filter this by things over here on the left side. that we're interested in. We can also just scroll through this until we've got quite a few account failed to log in piece, so maybe something we want to take a look at. We've got different ways to view it, lists, tables, and you can see you can drill down and get some more granular information on what's happening there. Just to show you the security tab, classifying the updates and the security events that are going on. You can drill down into those specific ones if you'd like. And we can filter those again based on type, severity, things like that. And we can back out of that, get back to our main security screen. You can see there's quite a few results there. So again, a lot of information, a lot of things to give us access that we want to do to take care of our security right from this main dashboard. And let's move down and look at some of the other options that are down below here. And you can see some of these I don't have any information right now, so we're just going to take a look at the JustInTime VM Access that's in preview. And it gives us some information about what just-in-time access means. Basically, we can lock down traffic types into and out of our virtual machines based on time, and we want to access. We see we've got machines that are configured, machines that they recommend that we might want to configure, and if they don't have any recommendations, there's a tab for that too. You take a look at this configured machine that I've got here. We can go ahead and hit request access, and now we're going to basically look at the ports that are open and decide what type of access we want to provide, in this case 3389, and for how long we want to provide it, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, and we simply just go ahead and say open those ports for that time range. Otherwise these ports would not be open. So as you can see, just-in-time access can be an important part of your security solutions related to your virtual machines. You may have test dev machines that are out there that they're testing things on that only need to be happening during certain times, and they can request. You can make those users request that type of access, so you can open that access to them. So now we've looked at most of the parts. Let's just take a look at kind of everything else that we have over here. Some of the other things, security alerts, for example, under detection. When you want to look at those, again, I don't have any right now. If you want to create any custom security alerts, you can do that within here. Again, pretty easy thing to do. A lot of this is in preview, so it should be out very soon. Again, we can take a look at creating a custom security alert rule. You're going to need a name, a description, severity, subscription you want to run it against, the workplace, and your search criteria, the period that you want to run it on, and how often you want to run it. So again, I'm not going to go ahead and do that, but you can see it's a pretty simple thing to get going and very powerful. Threat intelligence dashboard. We can go ahead and pick our address space that we want to look at there. And again, this is really cool. Not available in this region right now, that's why I don't have anything in here. But again, something else that's coming related to Microsoft. And the playbooks feature. You see I have one playbook here. If you want to add your own playbook, you can go ahead and do that. Just some simple fields you have to fill out to go ahead and do that, and then you add triggers and actions, and it will monitor your logic applications. So the cool thing is hopefully you get a good idea of what Security Center is about. Thanks for listening to our session today, and look forward to talking to you in the future.